exciting because Adrian left rehearsal to go there, and I knew that he was presenting to Best Actor, and I almost was like, Adrian, you know, you better make this happen.
Did you almost like slip him a 50 and like Michael B, whatever it says, Michael B, you're reading. Yeah.
Exactly. But thankfully he didn't need my help. It was already happening. But I was so excited for him and just I'm like over the moon for him.
These guys are here.
Charming you are, what your dimples look like. Like yes, how you move them like that. Did you do that? Did you watch it again? I did.
You did?
No.
What if one of Hollywood's strongest connections wasn't even written into the script in the first place? Two insanely talented stars from the same era keep circling back to each other again and again like it's something bigger than just work, and somehow it's still being played off as just acting. That story starts to fall apart when the chemistry hits this smooth, this real, this undeniable. It doesn't look forced, it doesn't look fake, it just flows too naturally. Fans aren't missing it either. They've been locked in, catching every small glance, every quiet moment that feels way too genuine to be staged or rehearsed. And what people are starting to piece together might seriously flip how you see this whole situation. Welcome back to Hood Headlines. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. It takes like 2 seconds, but it helps more than you realize. It always begins with a spark, but not the loud, obvious type. This is something quieter, something you feel before a single word is even spoken, a look, a presence, a shift in the air that makes everyone stop and pay attention without even knowing why.
Love him so much. I was so proud of him. You know, he's been working since he was 9, right? This is like the culmination of so much that I just felt like I got to be his proud friend and on set his proud wife. Like every day at work, I was like, that's my man.
That low-key tension, that natural pull is what really gets people hooked. And when it comes to Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson, that exact energy is what keeps fans watching closely and coming back for more. Now shift the focus to Michael B. Jordan, because his journey didn't start at the top. It started way before the spotlight got this bright. Born in Santa Ana, California, and raised in Newark, New Jersey, he didn't just walk into Hollywood with everything set up for him. Nothing was handed over easy. He had to grind for it, step by step, building himself into one of the most respected names in the game over time. What really sets him apart is simple. He doesn't just act, he fully transforms. Every role feels like a complete reset, like he's stepping into a whole new version of himself each time. Nothing feels reused, nothing feels shallow. It always hits deeper than that. Then Black Panther came through and changed everything. His presence felt different, stronger, impossible to ignore. The physical transformation alone had the internet going crazy, and just like that, he wasn't only respected anymore, he became the standard. He reached that level where he doesn't even have to chase attention. It naturally comes to him. But then there's Tessa Thompson, and her energy moves in a totally different lane, but it's just as powerful. She brings this sharp sense of control and intention to everything she does, and somehow it still flies under the radar, even though it really shouldn't.
Around than I did the first one. What was that?
Nothing.
She doesn't just keep up, she stands out clear as day. What really separates her is that precision. Every move feels planned, every performance feels locked in, and even when she's on screen with heavy hitters like Idris Elba and Chris Hemsworth, she never blends into the background, not even for a second. She holds her space with confidence and control, pulling attention in a quieter way, but it hits just as strong, maybe even stronger. That kind of presence isn't something you can fake, and is definitely not something you see every day. On their own, they're already powerful, no question about that. But when their paths start crossing, that's when people start noticing something different going on. Take it back to 2015 with Creed. Michael steps in as Adonis Creed, a fighter trying to build his own name while carrying a legacy that's way bigger than him. Even though Tessa wasn't in that first moment, they were already moving in the same creative lane, tied into the same vision, the same energy behind the scenes. Then 2018 hits, and everything lines up perfectly. Creed 2 brings Tessa in as Bianca, and now the dynamic is impossible to ignore. She's not just part of the story, she becomes the emotional core, the balance, the steady presence holding it all together. And Michael meets that energy head-on with a performance that feels raw, grounded, and way too real to overlook. The connection between them doesn't come off forced or over the top. It feels real, easy, almost too familiar, like it exists beyond anything written in a script. At the same time, Ryan Coogler places them right into the same cultural wave through Black Panther, and even without sharing scenes, the timing still lines up in a way that feels intentional.
Witnessed a new level of sensitivity in him. I've always known that he's sensitive, but I think as he has matured, he's less afraid to show that.
Then the press tour kicks off, and that's when everything shifts again. Suddenly, they're side by side, showing up together, moving in sync, matching each other's energy so smoothly that people can't help but notice. That's when the conversation really takes off, because now it's not just about their performances anymore. It's about presence, it's about body language, the timing, the way they talk and respond, like it all flows without effort. People start paying way closer attention, not just to what they're saying, but how they move, how they react, how comfortable everything looks between them. And once that question gets stuck in people's minds, where does the acting stop and where does something real begin? It doesn't just disappear. That thought lingers, and it pulls everything back to that original spark. Because no matter how you try to explain it, the roles, the timeline, all those shared moments, that underlying energy keeps showing up again and again.
Depending on my mood, I see my mustache says Creed, my jacket.
That
says
mustache, is this the mustache? Is this the debut of the mustache?
It is. I don't know. The OnlyFans account might come pretty soon. I don't.
And if you understand how celebrity PR really works, then you already know silence like that can be very calculated, very intentional. Now this is the part people have really been waiting on. The rumors, the fan theories, all of it. But we're keeping this fair and grounded. No wild claims being thrown around. We're focusing on what fans actually noticed, what's been publicly reported, and what Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson have actually said themselves. Let's make that clear. We're not making anything up here. We don't even need to reach, because what's already out there is more than enough to get people talking. The first real wave of shipping, that's what fans call it when they want two people together, really took off during the Black Panther press tour. Photos and video clips of Michael and Tessa started popping up everywhere from different press events, and fans didn't just casually watch, they started analyzing everything. People were putting it all together like a full case file, almost like a dossier of moments that didn't feel random at all. The first thing everyone locked in on, the way he looks at her. Not the typical my co-star's talking type of glance. This felt way more intense, way more focused. The kind of look where he goes completely still, like everything else around him fades out for a second. Fans caught it in real time, screenshotted it, slowed it down, replayed it over and over, breaking down every tiny detail like they were trying to prove something bigger was going on. Frame by frame, people were breaking it all down, full video edits, slow motion clips, just to analyze those moments more closely. Then comes part two, the body language. And yes, there are entire fan communities dedicated to catching details like this. Across interviews and public appearances, people kept noticing the same thing. Michael and Tessa mirroring each other without even realizing it, leaning in at the same time, turning toward each other mid-conversation. It kept happening again and again. There's actually a term for this. It's called postural echo, and it's known as a strong subconscious sign of a deeper connection or attraction.
Can I keep this?
Yeah.
I don't believe, I do, yes. I'm proud of him. I don't objectify him. I never would. He's my work friend.
Fans were quick to point out just how often this showed up between them, and once you see it, it's hard to ignore. Then in the 2018 press roundtable, Michael was asked about working with strong women in Hollywood. Without any pause, Tessa's name came up first, and it wasn't said casually either. There was real respect in the way he said it, and that moment stood out immediately. Of course, fans clipped it right away, and once it hit the internet, it spread fast, popping up everywhere as people added it to the growing list of evidence. Point 4, and this one right here is a fan favorite for real. During the Creed 2 press tour in New York, Michael and Tessa pulled up to a premiere in the same car. Now, sure, in Hollywood, that could just come down to simple logistics, nothing wild on the surface. But fans didn't stop there. They went deeper into the details. People noticed that the two of them didn't just arrive together, they also left together. And on top of that, Michael opened the door for her twice. That small moment had people talking instantly, like it meant way more than it seemed. Now, let's keep this honest. None of this is solid proof of a romantic relationship, not even close. But that's not why this story stuck the way it did. What really pulled people in was the pattern. It wasn't just one clip, one event, or one interview. It was years of consistent interactions that felt noticeably different from how either of them acted around other co-stars. And once the internet caught onto that, it ran with it, full speed. We're talking fan fiction, edit videos, deep dive threads breaking down every moment. This turned into its own full-blown universe online. The hashtag Tessa and Michael Forever didn't just appear out of nowhere. It started trending multiple times across 2018 and 2019.
Do you know any of the lyrics to Eye of the Tiger off the top of your head? And can you sing the song?
Eye of the tiger.
You don't know the words? Okay.
That's it.
Maybe a little punchy?
A little punch.
At that point, people were split. Either these two were secretly together, or they were just so convincing on and off screen that they had the entire internet believing something real was going on. Either way, fans felt like they were winning. And honestly, that right there explains why this fandom stayed so locked in for so long. But here's where things start to shift, because it didn't stay in fan theory territory forever. At a certain point, actual reported rumors started popping up. Not just guesses, but full tabloid stories entering the mix. By 2019, multiple entertainment outlets began dropping blind items, and that had people connecting even more dots. These are those unconfirmed industry gossip posts where names aren't directly said, but the clues are barely hidden. The descriptions pointed to two Marvel-adjacent stars with undeniable chemistry, spending real time together outside of work, and fans picked up on that almost instantly. Now, let's keep this grounded. Blind items are not journalism, not even close, but what they do reflect is the kind of behind-the-scenes chatter that moves around Hollywood. People talk, people notice patterns, and when similar whispers start showing up in different places, it grabs attention for a reason.
You and I always say that.
I think we said this morning. We said it just now. I think we just.
I think we never stop saying.
So naturally, fans started digging even deeper, going back to old clips and moments that seemed to line up a little too perfectly with all the speculation building up around them. Now we're getting into the key moments, the ones people keep bringing up again and again. Even the skeptics have a hard time fully explaining this first one. The 2018 Essence Black Women in Hollywood Awards, specifically the Essence Black Women in Hollywood Awards, one of the most respected and high-profile events out there. Tessa Thompson was being honored that night, and Michael B. Jordan showed up. Now, sure, celebrities pull up to events all the time. That part isn't shocking. But it's how he showed up that had people paying attention. He wasn't just passing through or making a quick appearance. He was fully present, locked in, and constantly near her throughout the night. Fan photographers caught multiple candid shots of them deep in conversation, and the energy in those photos felt different. Real, focused, hard to ignore. Once those images hit the internet, people went wild trying to break down every detail.
I think my favorite thing about working with Mike is he really is a very kind human. Like, I'm so proud of him. I think he did such a tremendous job on the film and directed something that's not easy to do.
Then comes moment number 2, and this one had people really talking. The Creed 3 announcement was huge because Michael wasn't just starring anymore, he was stepping into the director's chair for the first time. But here's what grabbed everyone's attention in almost every interview. One of the first questions he kept getting was simple. Is Tessa Thompson coming back? And the way he answered, yeah, people definitely caught that. There was this smile, subtle, but saying way more than his actual words. That reaction quickly became a moment all on its own, and fans didn't let it slide. When he spoke about Tessa, it didn't come off distant or strictly professional. It felt more personal, more genuine than expected. He even called her irreplaceable. And that one word, fans held on to it for months, replaying it, breaking it down, reading into every tiny detail like it meant something bigger. And just like that, the conversation kept building as people moved on to moment number 3. Now we get into moment number 3, the 2018 Vanity Fair Hollywood issue.
Sounds like something
Me.
my wife would say.
It's me.
We're going with B.
Michael B. Bournemouth.
This is that iconic feature where they spotlight the next generation of elite stars. Both Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson were included, each standing on their own as major forces in the industry. They were photographed separately, no official pairing, nothing linking them side by side. But fans stepped in and did what they do best. They created their own version, placing the two images next to each other like a diptych, and somehow it just worked perfectly. The edit looked so natural, so seamless, that people started sharing it everywhere. It went viral fast, and a lot of people didn't even realize it wasn't an official photo. Then comes moment number 4, the Met Gala sightings over multiple years. Fan accounts that track celebrity appearances started noticing a pattern. At different Met Galas, Michael and Tessa were reportedly seen near each other at different points in the night, talking, sitting close, popping up in overlapping photos. Now yes, the Met Gala is huge, hundreds of celebrities all in one place, constantly moving around. But fans couldn't ignore that one detail that kept showing up again and again. They kept ending up near each other all night in a room packed with people. Somehow, they kept crossing paths again and again, and that's the part that really had people raising eyebrows. Then comes moment number 5, the Creed 3 era. This was a major turning point, with Michael fully stepping into his role as director, leveling up in a big way.
Our friendship is really deep and very special. I think, we didn't know each other before we started playing these parts, and it's like the thing where you're like, okay, meet, okay, pretend to be in love.
During interviews, he started opening up more, talking in a deeper, more personal way about the film and what it meant to him. He spoke about love, sacrifice, and the people who shape who we become. And fans were locked in, listening to every single word. When he got into the emotional preparation behind the film, he talked about vulnerability, honesty, and the kind of people in his life who helped bring that side out of him. He didn't name anyone directly, didn't point fingers or make anything obvious, but the timing had people paying extra attention. All of this was happening right when more conversations about his personal life was starting to build, so every word he said felt like it meant something more. People were analyzing everything, trying to connect the dots in real time. And that's exactly what makes Michael B. Jordan such an interesting figure to watch. He's extremely private when it comes to his personal life. We don't get much, and that's clearly by design. Michael has spoken about self-growth, becoming a better man, and putting in real emotional work. And fans have spent years trying to read between the lines of those statements. Tessa Thompson moves the same way, just as private, just as controlled with what she chooses to share. She doesn't put her personal life on display, and she keeps things low-key no matter how much attention is on her. That level of consistency makes every public moment stand out even more. Nothing feels random, nothing feels accidental. It all feels intentional.
What was it to like working with him as a director?
It was incredible. He's so talented. I mean, he's been working for such a long time as an actor, and I think he takes all of that knowledge of a set and really what makes a fantastic director.
So when you've got two people who are both this careful, this calculated, every interaction they do show starts to feel way bigger than it might actually be. And that right there is what keeps the conversation going strong. Now here's where things shift a bit. We've laid everything out, the moments, the patterns, the rumors, but now it's time to do what most people avoid. Let's actually question it, because the honest truth is simple. We don't know the exact nature of Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson's relationship. At different points, both of them have described each other in ways that feel a little more personal than just basic professional respect, and people definitely picked up on that. Tessa Thompson has always been open about her personal life on her own terms, and her story doesn't revolve around Michael B. Jordan. She's spoken thoughtfully about her identity, her relationships, and how she approaches love in a way that stays true to who she is. Her journey is layered, personal, and deserves to stand on its own, not be reduced down to speculation or internet theories. On Michael's side, his relationship with Lori Harvey between 2021 and 2022 was very public, one of the most high-profile relationships he's had in the spotlight. When that ended, he didn't just disappear or avoid the topic. He actually opened up in interviews about what he learned, what he wants moving forward, and the kind of partner he's trying to become. That level of honesty caught a lot of people off guard, especially because he's known for keeping things private. And now we're back to the same question fans just can't let go of. If Michael and Tessa were ever romantically involved at any point, would the public even know? Honestly, probably not. These are two people who are extremely intentional about what they share and what they keep locked down. And in an industry that can be especially tough on relationships, especially when it involves black celebrities and black women, that level of control isn't random. Is strategic.
That kind of privacy actually makes a lot of sense when you really think about it. But there's another angle here that often gets ignored in all the shipping conversations. Two people can be incredibly close, genuinely care about each other, and have undeniable chemistry, and that could be the full story right there. It doesn't always have to mean romance. Deep friendship, creative connection, real artistic partnership, those are powerful bonds on their own, and they deserve just as much respect and attention. Not every strong connection needs a label to make it real or meaningful.
Kind of instantly got along and felt friendly together, and apparently he did look at my butt in that chemistry test.
Oh, well, you can't blame him.
I guess so, and I don't know anything about chemistry, so I don't know why, but apparently it worked.
And that Ryan Coogler connection, that's real too. The creative circle they've built around him adds another layer to everything people think they're seeing. That kind of connection can hit just as strong, just as deep, and just as impactful. Or maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's always been something deeper sitting under the surface this whole time. Maybe the privacy is protection, and that's exactly what keeps people hooked. Because the truth is, we might never get a clear answer, and somehow that mystery only makes it more intense. In a world where celebrity relationships get exposed, analyzed, and picked apart in real time, the idea that two people could actually keep something just for themselves, that feels rare. And in its own way, that might be the most interesting part of this whole story. Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson are two of the most captivating people in film right now, no debate there. On their own, they're powerful, but together, on screen, during press tours, even in those candid moments when they're not trying, they become something else entirely. It's the kind of energy Hollywood usually tries to create but can't always fake, something that just feels real, undeniable. So what is it really? Is it just elite-level acting or something more that people can't quite explain? Is it just a strong friendship, or is it something that doesn't fit into a clean label, but still feels real enough that people can't ignore it? Fans have built their theories, the tabloids dropped their blind items, and body language analysts broke down every glance, every move. And through all of that, Michael and Tessa have stayed quiet.
But that silence is loud enough to keep the mystery alive and people locked in. Here's what really stands out though. When you watch the Creed films and see Tessa as Bianca looking at Adonis with that mix of love, exhaustion, and loyalty, you feel something. It doesn't come off like acting. It hits like it's coming from somewhere real. And when Michael looks back at her with that controlled, almost quiet tenderness, it lands every single time. Because yes, great acting can make you believe anything. Or maybe it's something more. And that's the question that keeps coming back again and again. Maybe some of the most powerful moments we see on screen feel so real because in some way, they actually are real. So what do you think the chemistry between Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson really is? Is it just a result of two incredibly skilled actors doing their job at the highest level? Or is there something deeper underneath it all? Something real, something intentional, something that keeps pulling people back into this story again and again? Because that's the thing, there's no clear answer. And somehow, that's exactly what makes it so hard to look away. Every look, every interview, every shared moment adds another layer, but never the full picture. In a world where everything feels exposed, explained, and constantly overanalyzed, this connection, whatever it truly is, still holds on to a sense of mystery. And that mystery, it keeps people watching, questioning, and coming up with their own theories. At the end of the day, whether it's friendship, chemistry, or something deeper that's never been confirmed, it feels real enough for people to notice. And sometimes that feeling is stronger than any clear answer ever could. Now I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your theory in the comments. Don't hold back. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's been following this story too. And stay tuned for more.